Extreme heat at the start of July is suspected to have contributed to the deaths of 29 New Jersey residents. A number of those were unhoused individuals. Now, their death brings into focus an issue that continues to challenge the state: the number of people who are homeless and need services, especially during extreme weather events. As another heat wave hits the state this week, I recently spoke with Connie Mercer, CEO of the New Jersey Coalition to End Homelessness, about this issue and their efforts to make a difference. Connie, it's so great to have you with us. Thanks for taking some time to talk. We do know that 29 people died during the heat wave that blanketed the state from July 2nd to July 6th. What do we know about the number of those individuals who were unhoused?
We know for sure that at least 9 of them were unhoused, and that another 3 or 4 of them who were in cars but were probably living in their cars were also died a horrible, tragic, avoidable death.
Yeah, this is absolutely tragic. Is there anything more that you can share so that we understand the situation around how these individuals died?
They died because there is a homelessness crisis in New Jersey that has been precipitated by the increased impossible cost of housing and all of the other expenses that have gone up. In the month of June alone, there was a 57% increase in unsheltered homelessness from last year. And now there are more unsheltered people in New Jersey. That's over 10,000 people on those horrible hot nights who had no shelter of any sort. Than there were sheltered people in New Jersey who were safe in shelters or perhaps in motel rooms that some
Yeah,
government
Connie,
agency or had bought for them.
let me jump in here because you raise a great point. The point in time count is a way that at least once a year individuals are able to track how many are unhoused in the state. Now, this happens, I know, in the winter months, but in 2025, 13,700 individuals were found to be homeless, and that was an 8% increase over 2024. So this is a problem that's growing in New Jersey. When you say this was avoidable, what do you believe are the steps that state officials, local officials need to be taking, especially during these extreme weather, uh, events?
Okay, I think it might be helpful if I gave you just a real brief overview of what's going on in homelessness right now, because I think that most folks just don't understand the magnitude of the problem. There's been a 70% increase in homelessness in New Jersey over the last 4 years. 70%. Last year, more than 42,000 people were counted as homeless. 60% of them were homeless for the very first time. One of the scary parts was that almost 3 people were coming into homelessness for every one person who the system could get out, and the system can't move them out because of the lack of affordable housing.
So then, Connie, let me jump in here. What do you believe is a response? Is it a legislative response? I know that you've said that this is a result of systemic policy failure. What policy helps to solve or minimize this problem?
There are a huge number of things that must be done. There must be more money put into the system. New Jersey spends less than our peer states on homelessness. In fact, Connecticut and Massachusetts, for example, spend almost double the amount of money per homeless person as New Jersey does. For the immediate problem, and on Wednesday, the temperature is going to be up over 101 again. We are going to have people who are living, who have wheelchairs, people who have heart conditions, people who have severe health issues who are going to be out unprotected in that 101-degree heat. The governor could declare a state of emergency immediately. There could be some changes so that shelters would be allowed to take in 20 or 30% more people during the state of emergency. Or we could, in a broader way, just declare an executive order declaring a state of emergency around homelessness generally, which I would think we need to do. We could require submission of comprehensive code red plans across all 21 counties, which we don't currently have, and identify state fundings to make that a reality. We could require cooling centers to remain open during holidays and extended emergencies. One of the horrors during the last Independence Day crisis, when so many people died, was that the designated cooling centers were not open. So often the designated cooling centers are places like recreation centers or libraries, and they had closed for the 3-day weekend, and nobody had.
That's such a great point that you raised there. And I wonder, is this city policy or these city ordinances that need to change? Is this something where the governor needs to step in? The administration is responsible to change that? Who is responsible?
The governor needs to step in and require that there be realistic, well thought out plans. And then there has to be someone who's responsible for enforcement. Right now, the issue of enforcement is very, very, very unclear. There are no penalties for a municipality or a county that doesn't adequately provide during an emergency.
These are really great points that you raised, Connie. I appreciate you coming on to talk to us about it and continue to highlight this important issue. Connie Mercer, CEO of the New Jersey Coalition to End Homelessness. Thank you.
Joanna, thank you so much.